Hi, I'm Jim from the Cycle Lodge, and today we're going to go over a few tips to make sure your bike is safe to ride. First thing we're going to check today is tire pressure. All tires lose air, whether it's in your bicycle or your car. On a bicycle with the high pressure, low volume, you're just going to notice it quicker than you would in your vehicle. You could use a pressure gauge, such as this, to check your pressure. Most pumps also have gauges on them. So what I'm going to do is put my pump on. Usually got to give it a little tap. So right now I'm at about 60 psi. This was probably pumped up to 100 last week. So I'm just going to bring it up. To about 100 pounds. If you're not sure how much air your tire takes or how much air you're supposed to have in your tire, it's engraved or stamped on the sidewall. You just have to find it. On this particular bike, the recommended tire pressure is between 100 and 125 psi. I wouldn't probably go to max if the roads are rough. I'd run it about 110 or so for my weight. Heavier riders more air, lighter riders can use less. While we're looking at the wheels, we want to also take a look at the quick release skewers. These are the levers that keep your wheel attached to the bicycle. The levers are engraved either open or closed. You want to be able to read closed when you're looking at it, and normally that would mean the curve of the lever is going in. Just make sure that it reads closed. Occasionally we see bikes come in the open position with them just turned down tight. When you do close your skewer, if you take your wheel off, make sure it closes with firm pressure. You should have to reach down and use the palm of your hand, not just your fingertips. Okay, while we're talking about wheels, not a bad idea. Spin the wheel. Look down, sight down through your brake pads and make sure the wheel isn't wobbling. If it is, the spokes will have to be adjusted to true the wheel, what we call truing the wheel. You also want to take a look at the pads and make sure they're hitting the braking surface of the rim. These can be adjusted up and down. Make sure they're not hitting the tire or going below that braking surface. Not a bad idea to also look at your tires. These are fairly new, but check for any cuts in the tread or maybe any abrasions or fraying on the sidewalls, especially if it's an older tire. You can also check the adjustment of the hubs. If you grab the rim and try to move the wheel side to side, if there's any lateral play, then the bearings would have to be adjusted in the hubs. Do the same thing with your crank arms. Take the arms, grab them, try to move them side to side. If you're getting some play, then the bearings in the bottom bracket should be adjusted. Same thing up here. This is important for the steering of the bicycle. If you put your front brake on and rock your bike, you should feel no knocking in what we call the headset. If there is, that certainly needs to be adjusted. When you do apply the brakes, you're looking for a little bit of modulation. You don't want the brakes to come right on. Modern brakes are very powerful, but you also don't want the lever to bottom out. So when you squeeze the brakes, make sure that you have maybe, I don't know, half an inch or so of play before it applies, but also doesn't bottom out onto the handlebar. The shifting on the bike, bikes, especially with this type of shift levers that are built into the brakes, you want to make sure the cables are moving freely. Normally, those would be replaced every few thousand miles. Not ideal. You can have a friend hold the bike up for you. Just go through the gears, and it should move without much friction when you hit that lever. Lastly, your chain. This chain's fairly new. Take a look at yours. It shouldn't be over lubricated or under lubricated. If you take a rag, give the chain a little wipe. You should just pick up a little bit of oil on that rag. That'll tell you your lubrication is proper. It's not a bad idea to take a rag and just wipe the chain down every couple of rides. That's it for now. Thanks for watching and ride safe.